Hello and welcome to another episode of Invisible Walls. Marcus Beer isn't here this week, and before you guess why, it's because he's at QuakeCon. He will be returning next week, and that will be a fun episode, and he can tell us about John Carmack, I'm sure, who is, by this time, he will have already delivered his keynote, and I'm sure we will know more things about technology. I am pleased to have Kyle Bossman here today, and somewhat pleased to have Justin Spear.
I just realized we should have talked after those things.
Like, I was waiting. I was throwing it to you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just steamroll people.
Shitty. Hey everybody. Hey.
Yeah, do a less shitty intro next time.
Okay, less shitty intro. I'm here with Kyle Bossman.
Hey everybody.
And Justin Spear.
Hello.
That's proper. And we're gonna have a little more of a laid back episode, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
A little more
Let's
chill.
Relax a little bit.
But there was one kind of newsy, weird rumor topic that me and Kyle were talking about the Xbox One being reintroduced, which is such a weird idea. I don't know if you have any initial thoughts about the idea of like Microsoft trying to do even more sort of carpet bombing PR to cover up.
Yeah, I've stopped paying attention. They're just like, hey guys, we really screwed up our message, and maybe we'll do another one. And maybe after that, we'll do one more message, and eventually, I don't know. I don't care. I mean, whatever. Eventually, we'll have the X-Bone, and we'll evaluate it for ourselves. I don't have any further interest in listening to their, explanations
until it's actually there.
Whatever. Yeah, at this point, it's like I'm tired of it.
I mean, do you think they really do you think they could use like Gamescom as a chance to? I mean, that will be their chance to talk to Europe, for example, but is that a chance to talk to the world?
Yeah, and one of the rumors is that they'll do a price cut, that they'll say, okay, actually it's $400. We're sorry, and I think that would work. I think $400, you'll see a lot of people who are just like, I'm getting Xbox One now. Yeah. Yeah, I think that $100 could change the whole landscape.
Maybe
honestly.
They planned it like that the whole time, or if their press conference had been second, then it would. Oh yeah, we're also this price.
It could be. I honestly think it could have been.
You really think $100 is enough? I mean, I don't think that would sway you at this point, right?
Oh, I don't know. It's for me to buy a system. It's just the one game that I have to have, and I'm like, okay, I'll buy the system.
Do you see that for either of the consoles at this point?
I don't know. Waiting for Last Guardian still.
Exactly. Yeah. I can see that. I can see where like neither of them really have that game.
I feel like it's going to be a while until it's actually a transition. There's so much cross-platform stuff. I feel like getting in early. It's fun to have the new console. It's fun to be like, oh, what can it do? And they will have a couple of showcases, but not enough for me to invest really.
Do you think the people who play Watch Dogs on an Xbox 360 are going to think, oh, I wonder what this is like on Xbox One?
That's an interesting question. I mean, that's the whole cross-gen thing.
Yeah.
Right
or Titanfall. If you play Titanfall, you're gonna be like,
really
would this be like twice as awesome? I don't think it would be twice.
If
as
only
awesome.
I had the cloud.
1.3 times as awesome. Maybe that's like.
Well,
my,
I mean,
my
are
guess.
people going to start? I mean, especially like things that are a little more closer to the not first party. I guess Titanfall just is that kind of just on the Xbox camp, but EA still I think has a vested interest on selling it on the 360 and PC as well.
Yeah.
But like people like Watch Dogs, they're not going to want to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Right. Unless they're getting like royalty cuts or not. Like they're getting like discounts for having developer tax for each unit sold or something for like the newer systems. I mean, you have a Wii U. Are you going to get Watch Dogs on the Wii U?
I'm not going to get Watch Dogs
because of the
on
gamepad.
No, I will
support,
not. No.
Second screen, smart glass.
What about Nintendogs on Wii U?
It could work,
That's
but
the
I mean,
proper dog
I think that's a fair
system.
question. Like, what cross-compatible game would actually? I played Black Ops 2 on my Wii U just because at the time I wanted one.
You borrowed it or you bought it?
I borrowed it.
Yeah, I mean that's a little different as well. Right?
It's way different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if I could ever recommend playing any cross-platform game on the Wii U. It's a really tricky situation.
But I forget which one of you mentioned this earlier, but have you guys ever actually bought a system for one game? Like, I bought a PSP pretty much for Patapon. I used it as, like, my excuse.
PlayStation 3 for Metal Gear Solid 4, definitely.
Okay, that's a good point. I waited. Like, I've definitely waited, like, one of those little orb spiders or something. But, yeah, I bought the Metal Gear Solid 4 bundle on PS3. Mm-hmm. Xbox, I waited for a crazy sale from like Outpost.com, but like Dead Rising really had me. It was right when Dead Rising was coming out.
Oh,
Likewise,
so pretty early then, actually.
But what's funny is Dead Rising did not get me to switch to an HD TV, even though you couldn't like read
to read the
anything
little text
the
in the
janitor
upper
said.
corner. Yeah.
But it was actually Mass Effect, because Mass Effect was readable, but it was really hard. But Mass Effect 1 actually had me go down to Best Buy on freaking what's the stupid day?
We call it Black
Black-
Friday.
Black
Black
Friday.
Friday, and like bought their shitty Dynex. Like it's still upstairs. That like 12-inch like HD TV.
Ubisoft is like they were probably watching you buy that through a
I wish
surveillance
Tyler was
network.
watching me buy that.
Yeah, because your privacy is gone. It's gone.
My metadata.
Yeah.
Have you ever bought a console for like one particular game or used it as
well, you know,
like, the
we're-
impetus to buy one?
I think we're kind of in a weird situation because work gives us access to these things and it lets us
totally.
do these
Yeah.
things. So I actually played Mass Effect before I hadn't bought a 360 yet. So I played it. I actually lost my memory card, my GT memory card, so I couldn't carry my
Your
Shepard
Shepard?
over the 3 games, which is a little bit annoying. But I bought one when Cold-Sept Saga came out, which is a really weird game to kind of buy a system for.
That's a really
I
weird
would have
one,
bought it. I would have bought the system, I think, eventually anyway. There's a lot of cool stuff on it. But I had played Gears of War, just working as a games writing person, right? And I had played Mass Effect so
That's
How many
interesting.
hours
I'm
did you put in?
pretty careful about it.
How many
I
hours
have
did
that
you-
luxury.
How many hours did you put into Cold-Sept Saga on the PS2?
I don't know, a lot.
Like 300.
Well, Cold-Sept isn't Saga on PS2, right? But between the two games, it's like a few hundred hours easily.
I think that's interesting though that we think of system sellers like, oh, Halo is a system seller, but sometimes a system seller is just a game that speaks to a person personally, like your Cold-Septs. And so I think that's like why a variety in a library is really
Well,
important.
that's how I kind of see like American politics. Like everyone thinks of like MSNBC and Fox as being like these two mainstream opinions, but there are actually a lot of people that are kind of more like in the middle that don't have like a dogmatic tie to one side or another. I feel like there's
Most
still a
people,
lot of
yeah.
people. There's people that are like love Xbox and probably don't give two shits about Halo.
Yeah, yeah.
But they like their Xbox stuff. Maybe there's really big Alan Wake fans or something.
There are, yeah, they're weird.
I actually like Alan Wake a lot.
But I think Xbox 360 now is kind of like PS2 in that it has a huge, awesome library, and it's pretty easy to look at it and say, do I really need an X-Bone right now? If you hadn't bought a system, or I think the current generation of consoles, PS3 and Xbox, that's going to hang around for a while.
Yeah.
And I think if you feel, if you're really into it and you want to get the console as soon as possible, that's cool. But I think that they have to push it a little bit because, there's so many great games out. There's still more games coming out. You don't need a next gen console to play the Titanfall, to play Watch Dogs. So, I think it's
And like Batman, you can only play Batman on current gen.
Dark Souls 2.
And Dark
Despite
Souls
rumors.
2,
yeah. I mean,
Looks great on
it's,
PC,
It's
though.
not
Yeah.
quite
Oh my
time for
God.
me.
Yeah.
For me yet.
I'll have like overlapping consoles for
Did
a
you
long time,
pre-order?
I feel like. Yep,
PS4?
I have, yes.
Okay. So you've already kind of drawn a line in the sand?
I didn't draw a line in the sand. I just pre-ordered it.
Okay.
Draw a smiley face in the sand.
Did you do it immediately after the press conference?
Chris,
Chris,
the
you
day
did,
after.
right?
Yeah, it was like
Did you do it during the press conference or immediately after?
Like immediately after on my phone.
He got the first batch. He'll have the first.
I went
batch of
to
pre-orders.
GameStop because I trust that pre-order a little more in a weird way. Just in something I can go and pick up. I like
Howard
that
did the
idea.
players. That's you. We got your back, homie.
I like that little rabbit.
Hey, homie.
I like
I
rabbits.
love that. I love that character.
You ever read Watership Down?
No.
You should.
That's
guy
like
wouldn't
referenced
last.
a lot in the what is it? Scary Rabbit movie. Help me with that. What is that?
Donnie Darko?
Donnie Darko. They talk about Watership Down all the time.
Really?
Yeah,
I
and
don't
it's like
remember
I can't care about that now.
It's good.
Okay.
I'll keep this short, but they actually made a D&D game based off of Watership Down called Bunnies and Burrows.
Bunnies and Burrows.
And you should look up the artwork for the cover of the book. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's like bunnies doing kung fu on like a
If
rabid
you
dog.
like that, also try Mouse Guard.
What are these
Ryan's
recommendations?
Ryan is,
for me? What is that?
We're talking about the topic
Furries.
today is tabletop furry
Furries.
role playing game. They're not really furries. They're actually animals.
I'm a
right?
level 13 gerbil.
They're not really like animal people.
You're
They're
right.
like little animals.
Like you
But
role
with
play
swords.
as
But with
animals.
swords and
animals,
capes.
animals and animals. No, I don't think. Actually, he is
In
wearing
Mouse
a
Guard, you
backpack.
do have the kind
Yeah,
of.
no, they're like but in Watership Down, they like literally are bunnies and stuff. But they
Yeah.
have like ESP, and
Yeah.
you just chortle
Yeah, I only played Shadowrun and D&D, but if I could go back in time,
bunnies and burrows. It was a GURPS game,
What is GURPS?
generic universal role playing system by Steve Jackson.
Oh, so you kind of just
That's what
apply
Fallout
different
was.
universes.
Fallout
to-
was gonna originally be. It was like a system, but then it had additional rule sets. If you want to do like cyberpunks, or they had a bunch of stuff.
That's cool.
They had like 20 of them or something like that. You can learn more about them and their run-in with the Secret Service in the Fallout retrospective. which I wrote
Stop that.
a long
All
time
right.
ago. It's good.
You wrote a retrospective?
Yeah.
Cool.
Back in, what was that, like 08 or something like that?
Yeah, it was the same year the game came out, I think.
Yeah, whenever Fallout 3 came out.
Cool.
Well, moving from the Xbox, I think it's time to do an unboxing.
It's hilarious, by the way. That's what the Xbox conversation turned into.
Really? It was
Yeah,
hilarious?
reintroduction all the way into weird little furry things.
Okay. We got this in the
Whoa.
mail.
Unboxing, yeah,
I think it's
sorry
from
to-
Poland. I'm not sure though. What is it, Kyle?
It's called Looksy Pups.
Are you gonna unbox it?
Yeah, let's unbox this. This is what you just got
Let's-
this in
let's
the mail.
take a-
I assume
take a
you get a lot of
look-see.
stuff in the mail, correct?
Yeah, but not a lot of random stuff like this, except from like Zynga sometimes sends a lot of random crap.
So
They
basically,
gave us stickers too.
Ryan came to my desk and like plopped it down and said we should do an unboxing for this. So here we are, designed in the UK, made in China. What can you tell me about Looksy Pups?
It has dogs in it. I believe in England they're called hounds. No, there's
They're
a-
not.
No
called
cats
hounds.
allowed.
There's a
no,
no
cats,
cats
allowed
allowed
in
sticker.
Looksy Pup Land.
And it has something. They did a successful Kickstarter, I think, or the Kickstarter maybe is. If this got made, I have to assume the Kickstarter's been successful.
I think we're actually helping them with their Kickstarter and like putting it on a podcast.
So, did you ever play Nintendogs? Bringing it back to that.
Never played Nintendogs. I did own a Tamagotchi.
I had a Tamagotchi. I had a dinosaur one.
Just get Tamagotchi? Is that how you're supposed to
No,
say it?
I just can't pronounce things.
Oh, okay. This is part of the unboxing.
Whoa. That's like for your phone.
Thanks. My forearm is happy with that.
I'm going to pop out these eyes here.
So I guess
You wanna decorate the phone?
I guess what this is, and why we're so interested in it, audience, is it's like a hologram machine for your iPhone. If that makes sense.
Are you gonna hurt yourself? Okay.
So what do I do
microphone
now?
is
I
live.
downloaded the app ahead of time.
Do you have your phone?
Yeah.
This is unrehearsed, people, so anything could happen.
We're going to end up just
And it
cutting.
probably-
this.
Is a
it
puppy
probably
gonna?
will.
Is a holographic puppy gonna bust out of the doghouse?
No, you
Or
have
is
to
it-
like peer in on it. I think.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, Kickstarter ends in 20 days. They have a little
Oh, it's still
Kickstarter
going, wow.
countdown. I don't know if you can get a close up on this. Cool.
Okay.
We got a countdown to when the Kickstarter ends. So if you want to promote Looksy Pups, it looks like we are now promoting them officially. Look what we've
So do
gotten
you pop
ourselves
it in
into.
here then?
You know what I feel bad is like all of like the indie games who desperately want coverage and then like we're just giving it to
Well, you can always watch the Indie Game Manual with Rob Manuel.
Yeah, okay, that's a
And
good
I think,
time to
you know,
promote
and
that.
I forgot to tell you, he wrote some indie game previews, Jazz Punk, which looks pretty awesome. It's
Oh.
like a humorous, like,
Is
30
it
Flights of
adventure?
Loving.
Adventure game or?
Yeah, I think so, but it looks really cool. So do you just pop it in here and the holograms pop out?
Yeah. Blardonal?
Did you have Nintendogs?
I didn't.
I did. I put
had
45
it?
minutes into it, and then like my dog got sad, and
I,
was like,
I
don't
played
wanna
with a
play
dog.
this anymore.
Yeah. I played with someone else's dog.
And-
Gave it a wash or whatever.
I had a weird name for my dog, so that was like $30, like ill spent. I had a terrier, like in real life. I had
Oh,
a
I see.
terrier.
We have to earn bones to buy those dogs. So we get a Jack Russell for free. If we wanted anything else, we got to earn some bones.
Terriers are my favorite breed.
Here you go,
So, dog's name is Baker. So what do I do with you, Baker? How do I get you in the
You
house?
put him in here.
Oh, okay. Kennel toy. Designed. Okay, well, let me play with you. Oh, my gosh.
Do you pop it in here? Is there like
Let's
some
do it. Let's,
NFC or something?
Let's pop it. Uh-oh.
Screen going down. Oh, do you have a case on it?
No. Oh, I think we roll this out. Okay, so this is locked in currently. Do you think anyone is like watching this and was like really like, you know what? I could really use something like that in my life.
Well, we have a lot of like, single moms.
Viewers?
Yeah, in Sweden.
Okay. Are you getting the hologram?
I think you have to put it. You have to put it the other way.
Oh my gosh, I put it upside down. All right, we'll do this. We got this.
You nincompoop.
Whoa, it works.
Oh shit!
Oh my goodness!
Let's show the camera.
This was completely worth it. Are you getting the shot? Do you have that?
I see it.
It is a holographic little puppy.
Does
Let me
he
see.
woof? This actually looks really cool.
This looks really cool.
It sure is dark in there though.
Yeah.
Well, that's the idea. I don't think the hologram works.
It's like a
unless
Skinner
dark in
box for a puppy.
there. And the side, does that work too? Oh, you can
does,
see him on the
wow.
side too.
Different view as
All right, we gotta get that.
Side view of the dog.
Can you
Rotate it a little bit more
that way?
He's so in there.
this way.
That way.
Yeah, and down.
Oh,
He's
he barked.
barking. He's barking.
Shake him. Shake him. Don't do that.
It's working. Okay. Well,
Peeta's not gonna like this.
so I'd have to say
It's fine. We're just playing.
It's okay, Mom.
7.5.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Is this first 15?
That's a review.
That's cool. Well, can we leave this going while?
Yeah, I suppose so. If
I don't know if
he
that's gonna be in
barks,
the
he
shot
barks,
at
but,
all.
He might evolve into a
Rotate it around
more powerful dog.
This way?
towards this camera. Yeah, more towards this camera. Yeah, right there.
Cool. Okay. Well, we'll let that go for the rest of the show.
Sure.
That was a successful unboxing. At least like shit happened instead of like just removing a fucking statue.
Yeah, it
and
is
flipping
actually. It's
flipping
cool.
through an art book.
Turning your iPhone
That's
into
how
a
they.
hologram
Isn't that how they
machine.
brought Tupac to Coachella?
Holograms,
With
yeah.
the
Basically,
doghouse
same
and
idea, yeah.
swamp gas. We're gonna do a brand new segment now. This is something we've never really done before on Invisible Walls, but it's we're treading territory many other people have done before. And it's what are you playing? What are you doing right now?
What are you playing? What are you doing right now?
What have you been playing, Mr. Bossman?
It's called Whipwid.
Was that the acronym you just produced there?
I think
Fire Emblem is what I've been playing now. And since it's old, I kind of don't want to talk about the game so much as I want to talk to you guys about.
Did you get married?
Oh, lots of times.
Because on your 3DS, your dream is to get married.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Never
your,
mind
your
that.
Your dream has come true.
I didn't let my avatar get married because she's like so business. She's all about business, but I definitely coupled up a lot of people. Anyway,
Matchmaker.
what I wanted to talk about is like, have you guys ever paused a game, stopped a game for like a month or two, like got bored with it, and then picked it up again? Because that's what I'm doing right now with Fire Emblem.
This is not what you're going to want to hear, and I think I brought this up before, but you know Hexic, it comes with a lot of Xbox 360s.
Yeah.
I was looking through every game I had, and I was like, oh yeah, Hexic, and I loaded it up for no real reason, and I was looking at the achievements, and there was one that was just, they had achievements for playing each of the game modes, and I didn't have it for one game mode, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go play this.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a 6 or 7 year old save game, because it just would not end, even if you're doing poorly. The game just continues and continues and continues. And I stuck with it for like another 45 minutes, and I finished off that 7-year-old game save and got like some shitty achievement in Hexic. But as I get older, I do find it harder if I lose that momentum. Like I remember when I was first playing Metal Gear Solid, the first Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
You know, I beat that in like a 2-day period. Oh, the dog's
really-
the dog's panting.
He's
I don't know if
panting.
that's getting picked
He
up.
likes it. He
He's
likes
hungry.
it.
But
Feed him.
feed him cats. No, it's only no cats.
All right, so you're playing Metal Gear Solid.
But you know, like you load up a save and it would actually give you a brief rundown of what had just happened. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And I wish more games had done that. But like, there's definitely been a couple of games where
Wait,
you
Metal
just-
Gear Solid did that?
Yeah, when you loaded up a save game, there's like a 2-page like text summary
Oh,
of what had happened previously.
that's so funny. I don't
Their
remember
quest
that at all.
log.
And then obviously, sometimes you just pick up some games. Like if you don't keep that momentum going, it can be hard. Like even with like gameplay systems. Like I put a handful of hours into what's that Triace
I'll silence the
game?
dog.
Like
Calm down.
End of Eternity or something like that, with like the hexagon and the like. It had like 2 different damage systems. Mike reviewed it. I think it had a different name in the
That's
U.S.
Resonance of Fate.
Resonance
I
of
think.
Fate. Yeah, I put like 3 or 4 hours into that, and I went to pick it up again, and that was like impossible.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I've had
Witcher
that-
1. I felt like I couldn't jump back into after I put like
Yeah,
6 hours
it's
into
tough.
it.
I've definitely
Certainly.
had that before, and that's why this is a unique thing to me. Is coming back to a game and just picking up where I left off, still being enthusiastic about it is a really unique thing, and that happens really very rarely with me. And so that's what's happening with Fire Emblem right now. It makes me I like it.
Does that speak to the quality of Fire Emblem and the timeless nature of its turn-based combat?
I guess I don't know what it speaks to. Do you know what I mean?
It's a complex game, but I think its complexities are not in its execution. It's in your actual strategies, right? I mean, it's pretty much you walk on a grid and you attack people and use some
But
abilities.
you still
right?
remember, I guess, who your characters are, right?
Yeah, that
You
game.
remember who hooked up.
Yeah,
who
you,
didn't.
you
But
end
they all
up
have
caring
proper
about
names,
each of the
Slain,
characters.
right?
Yeah.
Like everyone has like real names, right?
Yeah.
I think that probably helps, right?
Not only real names, but like they're funny. They all have unique characteristics, and some people are there's Tharja, and then there's Gregor. They're all great. They're all like great characters, which is a really interesting part about it. It makes you care more. And I'm playing it on the mode where if somebody dies, they die, so you have to like restart or just let that person die.
Die when you die.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
With save states coming to the new systems, and with the Wii U or the Wii Virtual Console having quasi save states. I know the N64 games I don't think had it, but I bought Super Mario Brothers 3, which if you watch Final Verdict, I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I always have it. I racked up a bunch of lives and warped to World 5, and I like anytime I want to play that Kurobo's boot level. I jump in there and I do that like 3 or 4 times a year. I like that level. I really
it's like
enjoy it.
your happy place
It
inside
is.
the booth.
It's like 60 seconds of happy for me. And I feel like when we were younger, like yes, I know like a lot of kids went through Final Fantasy games like multiple times, did laps. I know Chrono Trigger actually with New Game Plus made it a little more easy to do, and with more games
all the different endings you can actually.
and more games getting like
out.
battery saves definitely helped. But when I was like a kid, you know, once you knew how to beat some of these games, you could beat them in an hour, right?
Yeah.
And you could just pop them in. But like I feel like I don't.
I
need
played
to replay stuff
Contra,
so much.
the original Contra, probably like 45 times to completion. You know,
Wow.
it's a fun game. It's really
Also, you have to be
really fun.
insanely good to do that. And like, were you
Did
using
you
the
use
code?
the
30 man code.
Yeah,
helps
okay.
a little
Still,
bit.
that's a lot of talent. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, you know, I play with my brother.
You
get
steal
2
lives
people.
from him, or would he steal lives from you? You're better, right?
Huh? I was older, so usually I was a little better. But you know, he held up his end of the bargain for like Double Dragon 2.
Do you still play games?
Double
with your
Dragon
brother?
2 actually he died on the last boss, and he felt like he didn't actually beat the game because he wasn't alive when I.
I've
like,
been
did
there.
that.
Actually, that's an awful
And
feeling.
I'm like,
It's a
I'm
terrible
sorry,
feeling.
dude. Like, we could try to do it again later. He's like, I don't know, man. I can't play for a while.
Did that ever happen? By the way, did he ever finish that game?
You know, I don't think he ever defeated the Shadow Warrior with his own hands, but I did it for him. You know, I avenged his death.
Anyone play Bubble Bobble?
Yeah.
You can only get the real ending if you beat it co-op.
Yeah, I played
And
Bubble Bobble also with my
I
brother.
must be the worst. Have you ever played Bubble Bobble?
Yeah, definitely.
I must be the worst Bubble Bobble player in the world.
Bubble Bobbler.
Because as a child, I could never stick into the end, so we never got to see the real ending. Then when I was at G4, there was this intern. I'm trying to remember her name. I don't know.
Amelia, we'll call her.
Amelia Earhart came back to play Bubble Bobble, and she was playing. She's like, "We're gonna do it." I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, I think we cheated and like warped to like the last level. I think there's
You
like
have to,
255
it's part
levels.
of the game.
Yeah.
The warps.
And we're doing it, and I just eat it. I completely die. She's like, I'm like, this, you know, she's an intern. She's like, it's gonna be okay, Ryan.
So Amelia was pretty good at Bubble Bobble.
But Bub and Bob are never gonna get their little ladies.
Can you imagine if that happened today? The only way to get the good ending of this game is to play it co-op.
Yeah, can you imagine if the only way to get the good ending was like play a bunch of multiplayer and like carry over your save? I cannot imagine that.
But there are a lot of co-op. There are a lot of co-op games now where you turn on your friend. Where it's becoming what you expect at this point without spoiling it.
Everyone should watch Patrick's this Streets of Rage thing. Well, at the end, you're like,
oh fuck it, let's ruin these games.
Yeah.
The last Splinter Cell, and the co-op thing, and
I didn't know.
the shitty fucking Resident Evil, Operation Raccoon City.
You can ruin it for each other.
at the end.
Oh, you have to like betray each other.
You can like turn on each other or something like that. You playing anything else right now?
Nothing really. Last of Us on PlayStation 3. Trying to finish it still.
What season are you up to?
Whatever season, I'm like walking up to the science lab at the college.
Autumn, I think. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you're getting there.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
still
some
enjoying
crazy shit is about to
Yeah.
happen.
Because
absolutely.
without saying too much, winter is coming. Winter is really good.
Cool.
I would say. I think you would agree.
Yeah,
Chris,
we
can
never
get a
did
third?
we never did do the depths on that.
But maybe
Too
we'll.
late now.
I'm trying to
No
get.
one cares.
I mean, you know, Naughty Dog
LTTP
is like 70 feet in that direction. So maybe we can get over those guys over here and do like a post-mortem.
Let's walk
or something
over
like
right
that.
now.
Let's beat them up.
They're just right over
Oh,
there.
by the way, this is apropos nothing, but I was walking over there to the Water Gardens yesterday, and they had a falconer.
Yeah.
Nice.
I thought it was a homeless man talking to a pigeon, and
So
then
is
I
it-
got closer, and I was like, "That's not a pigeon." And he's like, "They train him to scare away the seagulls and the pigeons."
To explain to,
So
to
do
everyone.
they not go after the ducks?
Yeah, across
think so.
across the
They like
street
the
is
ducks.
a business complex called the Water Gardens,
We're Naughty Dogs.
where Naughty Dog works. I think that game company is in the Water Gardens too.
No, they're by the DMV over there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Everything's really close
Huge,
and weird
huge
around
corporate
here.
complex. Beautiful grounds.
Yeah. And so they've got like a pond in the middle of it with ducks and also seagulls. And so there's like a falconer who will come and like scare the seagulls away.
Be gone.
Yeah.
Did Mark of what is that game? Mark of Kasai, Mark of
Cree.
Was that were you a falconer in that, or was that just like some random?
No,
You
I
de-
don't-
I
don't
think you definitely had a
I think,
falcon.
It was a bird though.
Huh?
It was.
We have
Chris is saying
confirmation
it was
that was a falcon.
Yeah. Well, that's not your main vocation.
It was cool though. I mean, I always bring up this old 8-bit game called Eight Eyes,
yeah.
which is it's like a shitty Castlevania clone. It has really cool title music, but you you had a Falcon. And
Speaking of
and
co-op,
second
finally
player,
back to the co-op.
Yeah, the second player could be the Falcon, but it would only fly in these weird zigzags, and you could only attack diagonally. But only the Falcon could destroy certain enemies. So it was a really, really
That's so cool.
weird game, but kind of cool that like asymmetric co-op.
Check
thing.
out our live stream. Later this week.
8 Ice.
Kyle's
now.
playing. Kyle. And
Kyle's
We,
Brandon-
won't,
Brandon
we
is the
honestly
Falcon.
won't be doing that.
Falcon
No.
and the Snowman. I have a copy of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that game's worth at least like looking up
Yeah.
on like a Let's Play or something
Promise,
like that if it
promise
has
not
any.
to stare too long.
Did you ever play it? 8 Ice?
I played a bit.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
was-
I emulated like 100,000 NES games
Thief.
for like 5 minutes.
Um,
Try before you buy.
what are you playing right now, Justin?
Don't do this at home. You know, I played a ton of Dragon's Crown. I really haven't had a lot of personal time
Yeah, you're on
that I've
vacation.
wanted to devote to gaming, but I still play Magic 2014 every once in a while. The sealed deck mode, ranked. My rival is a Thunderworm, and every once in a while I'll check back, and he'll be a little bit further up on the rankings than me, and I'll be like, God damn it!
I'm sorry.
And,
Is Thunderworm a real person?
I think it's Thunderworm or Thunderworm Lord or something.
420.
I don't know him in
Deck
real
Bugs.
life, but you know, he had a good match. I added him as a friend.
Oh, I see.
And then I realized, oh, he's pretty close to me in ranking. So I played a few matches to try to edge up above him. And then usually I check back and he's like, you know, rocketed past
Is
me
this the
again,
sealed
so
deck only?
I'm about to give up. Yeah, I'm just playing the sealed deck, even though it's really kind of a limited
What
mode.
color are you?
I play a
tending to?
blue-green deck.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So a sealed deck means you can't put any new cards in there.
Yeah, after you unlock a certain amount of booster packs,
Like
and then
9.
you make your deck out of that. And I think that the pool's a little small. I'm really looking forward to the DLC in September, which I assume they will strengthen up this mode, which is a really cool idea, but still feels kind of limited. You tend to see the same cards. Everyone kind of has the same cards for the color. You're like, a black deck, you're like, oh, great. I'm
Are
gonna
you
see
going
this
to-
and this and this.
Because
Are you
it's
going-
the auto tune thing. It shouldn't have had the auto tune feature.
No, it's not that. It's just that there are powerful cards, and if you're smart and you're making your deck, you know, you're tuning it for glory and victory in battle. It's gonna probably be a certain way. I think I have a somewhat unique deck because I get more enjoyment out of trying to make something that's, you know, fun or wins in a cool way rather than just like the statistically most powerful thing I could engineer. But I think it's pretty strong.
Are you going to dominate those who choose not to download the DLC?
You know, usually they have
gating or something.
yeah, they would probably match you instead with people who didn't have it. But what they do with the other thing, they're like, oh, you can download a free pack that lets you play against these cards without having them.
Do you still buy the cards in real life?
And I'm not sure how they're going to do it. It's totally a mystery to me if they will even, you know, I don't want to get
We
everyone
only
excited.
do
I don't
stuff
know.
in
Huh?
the office.
Yeah, we
only buy
play in the office.
We do a box and stuff, but I don't think anyone buys cards individually. Maybe
No, I
Patrick
haven't.
on the side.
Yeah, you know, he has cards from long ago. So yeah, we've done drafts in the office. We should get you in on a draft sometime.
It's like
I'd be
Pokemon.
down
We
for
lost
it,
we
yeah.
lost some of our players though, you know, Miguel and Patrick.
Yeah.
Sadly no longer with us.
Yeah, no Mike Huber even.
I'm sure he'd show up.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's like I got the best land card. Really quick, just on Dragon's Crown. I guess like I know the review's going to be up by this time and everything, but
I hope.
too grindy in the end. A tad too.
I
grindy?
think it's a pretty good game, and I think action games, I think, you know, in their nature, they are really repetitive. Whether you're playing, you know, Devil May Cry or whatever, some games can disguise it more or can throw other things to keep you interested. Like, oh, you know, the levels keep changing and you see different things. They switch up the gameplay. But, you know, in an action game, really, you're playing it to do cool stuff. You want to beat up the bad guys in cool ways. You know, you want that one moment where you do the perfect dodge and, you know, the perfect combo. So you're always just constantly looking for that. And when you do it, it's fun. And I think it's a little bit obvious the way in which they're extending the life of the game. You know, you'll go and you'll clear a stage. You'll go out to the guild and be like, "Hey, I got a quest. You know what? It's for the place you were just at. You must have just missed it." And you're like, oh, "I did this thing that, you know." They're like, "Go collect spider threads." I'm like, "But I just got like 9 of them, and not, you know." So it is a little transparent. And they're like, they want you to go back with friends. You know, take runs at the levels. There's kind of a chaining system where you can try to complete stages consecutively, buff up your rewards. You really need human players for that because AI is stupid. So, you know, you can kind of see the grind, but it's a pleasurable enough grind.
I guess that's
think,
the next question, though, right?
and I think for the nature of the game, their 2D art, the stages are, you know, beautiful, and obviously a lot of effort has gone into creating this. And they're like, you know, to just use this once would be kind of a waste. The game would be really short. Of course, you could play through it again, but you know, you can level up your characters. There's a lot of room for you to get different skills. You can kind of make your dude your own, and then you switch classes and try a new character whenever you want.
Can we talk about? So my concern with it is that you kind of never make your character your own. You know what I mean? In the sense that this is a character who exists as a person. Kind of like in comparison to Fire Emblem, like this person has one name and that's one character.
Well, your character is an archetype.
Not even that, but like you can't change how that character looks at all. You can change the color, but like never like the armor upgrades. And so essentially you can have.
It's true, but the
four
weapons
dwarves.
do reflect. When you pick up a new weapon, they at least model that. You know?
But like why do all dwarves in this world have the exact same height and face and body?
They're the same elemental force of midget muscle.
Yeah.
They're like the same. It's you're playing it. You have to. These guys are not like humans in a real world.
Yeah.
They're characters, and they're there for you to facilitate your beating the shit out of orcs and goblins.
I
and
don't think
getting
I'd even
treasure.
call them characters. Do you
But
know?
I
Like they're
think-
just sort of.
I think it goes back to. I mean, this game's obviously really influenced by.
They're like
Star.
avatars.
It's
Like
an
I'm the
arcade game.
avatar of tits
writ large.
and sorcery.
Yeah, I guess like
Not a GURPS game.
like in an arcade
be.
game, you can only like pick
to work on
one
that.
of each character. It's like, oh, I get to be Michelangelo, But in this game, just everyone gets to be the same. Big
That's
boobs,
true, but I mean,
which-
there are six characters, so you have a wide choice. They're way more differentiated than one Ninja Turtle is from another.
Yeah.
And old beat 'em up. The game has some actual depth. That has some cool stuff to do. You get new techniques. You feel your character getting more powerful. Maybe if you're predisposed to beat 'em ups, you'll enjoy this much easier and much more thoroughly. But I think it's a solid game. It's good. And it's worth playing. It'll sustain your interest.
Better-
You
better
want to
with
keep playing?
friends?
They're like, you want to kick some more ass and get some more treasure? We'll make that happen for you. We'll
Yeah.
give you,
I think I'd like to play with friends so I can just be like, dibs on this character. Nobody else chooses.
Yeah,
that
you could
character.
totally do that.
Don't
It's
ruin
less
the-
grindy when
yeah.
you're playing with other people, right?
Well,
Or you're
like
playing with
anything,
people you
like a Borderlands or
obvious,
a
I guess.
Diablo
Yeah.
or something like that. If you're playing
Way
with other
better
people,
for- yeah.
adds an extra dynamic, and it really helps. If you're playing
Yeah.
it by yourself, you could have a very different impression of the game. Why is this game holding out on me? Why is it being such a dick? Can it just let me?
And like you don't even care about those little AI things you bring to life, the skeletons.
If
They
they were a
just
little
come and go.
smarter, I might care about them, but
Yeah.
they're really dumb. They're just like running into spike traps, and they
Yeah.
do some damage, but yeah, you cannot rely on those guys. A random anonymous human is like 1,000 times better than some kind of
But also more selfish, probably.
maybe. But the way it works is once you get the treasure, everyone gets the stuff, and you can
not like
choose whether you
Phantasy
want it or
Star.
not.
I
Yeah,
get
you don't like. There's no need or greed or any kind of
Ninja looting.
ninja looting.
Okay.
Well, I want to bring in a very special guest in a couple of minutes, but I did want to run through a couple things I've been kind of messing around with. I feel like we never really talk about cell phone games, and I think we all play them a little bit to a degree. I
Yeah,
know
but-
you and Chris were just talking about what was that you were playing, Chris?
Puzzles and Dragons.
Puzzles
Oh
and
no!
Dragons.
Yeah.
How'd you get into that? I tried that game for 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm deleting this before my wife sees it.
Is
I
it
think that's
basically
about the time I gave
is
it,
puzzle,
actually.
Yeah,
Puzzle
it's
Quest again?
a little bit.
No,
but
it's like Puzzle Quest. You
It's
gotta
technically.
give money.
I think it is
Yeah.
more of a game than Candy Crush.
I don't even know what Candy
I
Crush
hate
is.
Candy Crush.
I'm not going to even look
Yeah,
at it.
but it's still like you're still like,
Well-
am I really playing a game or am I kind of like just moving
No,
shit
you're just
around and watching
persisting.
numbers
It's,
move?
it's a game you're just giving your
Yeah,
time to.
But man, they're making buckets of money off of that.
It makes me so
I'm
upset.
I'm playing
so much money.
I'm playing a Rovio game called Tiny Thief
Hmm.
on my Android phone, and I think this is the first game I've ever paid money for on my Android. I actually don't cell phone game that much. I also have an iPad,
And
and
3DS.
it's basically I consider it kind of a different
Oh, I mean, that,
realm.
if you say like, I have this and this,
Okay.
that's to me like why you
And
don't
a
play
Vita.
mobile. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's just really quickly for anyone who played like old Sierra games or LucasArts games. It's little tiny scenes where you solve little tiny puzzles. Kyle mentioned he looked at it and he mentioned it kind of has a stealth aspect, which I didn't even kind of realize, but it does. And
Is it a tiny stealth aspect? A little bitty one?
it is a tiny. It's an
You've said the word
infinitesimal-
tiny like 6 times.
Well, it's called Tiny Thief.
It is tiny.
Um,
yes.
Diminutive Thief. But it's good. It's the kind of game in my head, if I was going to make a game, it's like they should constantly update it with little more scenes. The animation's really good. You go around, you solve little puzzles, and there's some side objectives. There's cute little animation. I already said that. It's simple, but it works. I think some people should check it out. It doesn't have the infinite replay of what's Rovio's game, Angry
Angry Birds?
Birds or something like that.
No, like I'm proud of Rovio
But-
for kind of extending themselves. Into
And it's
something like
it's a
this.
partner game. It's by the development team's called 5 Ants, I believe, but Rovio's publishing.
Very cool.
And I've been pretty happy with it. The game it most reminds me of, I guess, is Goblins, which was an old Sierra Dynamics game, I think, which kind of nearest analog, I think, would probably be like Zack and Wiki.
Oh my goodness! It had 2 little cartoon goblins, right?
Well, 3 in the first one, 2 in the second one, 1 in the third one. They kept removing the eyes. Do you play it?
I had that game.
If you liked it, you should check out Tiny Thief.
What happened to the goblins?
They
I
ate
was
each other. I don't know. But really small scenes that kind of play out and grow in complexity. I was in Boston on Monday. Got to talk to Mr. Ken Levine about manscaping and Zionism. Hopefully that interview will be up soon. I have to go on record. I was the guy who said I wanted a horde mode in
and
BioShock.
now you have it. Here it is.
But we're also getting the story stuff, the Burial at Sea. I think $5 for a mode is cool. Obviously, it doesn't have co-op, which is something I think a lot of people enjoy in Horde mode. Also, it doesn't have endless waves, but it does really highlight how good of a kind of a combat game BioShock is. When we got the strategy... Okay, you disagree?
Yes.
But you have to build yourself up again. You have to get your stats and stuff like that. It's $5. It's definitely not for everyone, and it's not as the most typical Horde thing. But it does give you some interesting scenarios and lets you kind of explore the space.
Do you think it's kind of unfair for that to appear in the season pass?
Considering you'll still save a ton of money if you get the season pass, based off of buying Burial at Sea Episode 1 at Burial 2, I think it's kind of evens out. But obviously everyone, I mean, the journalists were pissed off when we flew out there and like, okay, guys, the DLC, here it is. It's Horde mode. The embargo is 8 a.m. tomorrow, and it's getting released at 9 a.m. And it's like, why did this
how do I
happen?
cover this?
But then the Burial at Sea stuff and was a little more interesting. I think I already talked about Prison Architect, but Prison Architect's amazing, and I've been watching Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
And I think they should do a mod.
Oh,
because
you're right.
that'd be pretty interesting. I forgot to put drains in the shower because I'm just still learning the game, and like
That seems like an easy mistake.
my prison started to flood as people are getting shivved. I think I already talked about how I was going to expand, and
Floating bodies.
I made a hole in the wall, and
Horrible.
everyone just ran
you
out.
lost all your prisoners, yeah.
It was depressing, and then the guards are really slow in chasing them, and it's depressing because a cell has to be. It's a grid. The cell has to be 2 by 3. Squares, so that's like six squares, meters or whatever. But for solitary confinement, if someone gets in trouble, you have to put them in solitary confinement, and it's only 1 square. And I don't know, solitary confinement.
Did you hear about that guy that they left in a prison cell for like 5 days without water? 4 or 5 days.
Did he live?
Holy fuck!
got
He
$4 million
lived.
bucks.
He lived.
And he got $4 million.
Yeah.
I think they
I'd
sued
do
the
that.
government for $20 million. But
I thought
no, it was horrible.
I thought
the
you
guy's
died
going
after 3
insane, like
days.
covered in his
Yeah,
own
you're supposed
feces.
to, I think. Yeah.
It was. Yeah, it's
Drank his pee.
it's bad. I think people
Wow.
think oh, it's not so bad. But
Solitary
Prison
confinement's
Architect.
awful.
Prison Architect's pretty neat, right?
Yeah,
that game,
no, it's really
that
close
game
to-
is
they got a big
self-funded.
version.
They
got, like,
made an
$5
alpha.
million bucks.
They put the game out and people liked it and shared it, and then they got a ton of money. So
They make good games. Uplink's really fun if anyone ever wanted to do like hacking, like fake hacking stuff. Like that's not like stupid. I like Deus Ex hacking, but it wasn't really there. This actually kind of feels like quasi legitimate. I put up a preview for Brothers. The review will be hitting next week. I'm just gonna say this game is more than it looks. I was pretty happy with it. What?
more than meets
If
the
that's
eye.
that's just what you're going to
We're
say.
under
That's tough.
embargo.
Okay. Oh, okay, I got it.
There's
But
actually a third guy.
there's triplets. I do think it has a stupid subtitle though.
What's the subtitle?
Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Oh, that is going to make the game fail. That is such a bad subtitle.
But anyone who like Cookies and Cream, that kind of left brain, right brain, you're pretty
No
ambidextrous.
one's gonna get that.
I think you're pretty ambidextrous. I'd like you to
that
actually try
reference,
the
you
game.
I'll
It's-
try it. Huh?
No one is going to get that
It's
reference.
it's fun to
Cookies
kind
and
of
Cream?
play tug of
I
war
still
with your
can't hear
hands.
Cookies and Cream. No one is going to get that
Oh.
reference, or no one's
I
going
don't
to
think.
get that
Yeah,
game?
I think that's
PS2
it's
game.
a pretty obscure PS2 game.
It is,
And I
yeah.
actually have never played it. But
I
I've
never.
read about
just
it.
you always
I
see
thought,
articles about
that's
it in
cool.
EGM, and that's
yeah,
it.
it's kind of a mythical game.
Mythical. A billion years ago, Capcom was going to put out a game called Talisman, which is a really cool board game that I never got to play because you need friends. And then Capcom never did it on like Xbox Live. But then someone put it out on iOS as a single player thing that uses the rules and subsets, and it's expensive for an iOS game. It's like $7, but it's pretty awesome. It's a kind of board game RPG with interesting objectives and
Can you play
board
with friends?
mechanics. No, but it's called Talisman Prologue, so I think they are eventually going to
That's
release
cool.
it as Talisman. And once you unlock everything, I guess you can play it as a single player, the traditional board game. But the way they have missions set up, it's actually pretty awesome. And I did not review Pikmin 3. That was Daniel Bloodworth. But I've been playing it. And due to having house guests, I have not been able to use my television or my computer at night. So
Why?
I've been playing because they're in those rooms.
Well, like let them watch Pikmin.
It's deeper than that. We won't get into that.
Whoa. Okay.
But I've been playing Pikmin 3 entirely on the gamepad.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it's been kind of doable, but I would have to agree with Daniel. Some of the fine-tune aiming after playing new control Pikmin,
Well,
it is
you
a
can
little
actually
cumbersome.
you can still use the Wii remote and nunchuck with the gamepad.
Which
no,
is the
right,
best.
but I'm not using
Yeah.
the TV, so I'm literally only using.
No,
the...
I mean you can like you set up the gamepad and like point the Wii remote at the gamepad. How crazy is that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I remember that. Yeah, that doesn't seem
Practical?
particularly
No, you're
feasible.
right. Yeah.
And the gamepad, I know Daniel wasn't, and I know what's his name, Chris Kohler had a big thing about how it doesn't have to be a Wii game, but it is kind of fun to track on the map and just send some dudes. But they are like, there's some dumb AI. They'll, like you said, your AI guys were walking right into traps. Like here, there's like fire, and they're like,
Well, Pikmin I expect to be
because
just
they're
kinda-
vegetables.
Yeah, you
brain
sort of
dead.
give them that. They're like made to look a little dumb. Yeah.
It sounded like a Pikmin mix
It's the
with,
lot and
who's that dude? Gollum.
Whoa. Okay, I guess so.
We should have a Pikmin MOBA.
Ryan, my question is, like, did this game come out too late? I think that's the big question about Pikmin 3.
It's not
For-
launch window.
Yeah.
You mean for Nintendo's
For the
good?
Wii U?
For
Yeah, for it to be effective, for it to be do what it was supposed to do.
I don't think it was ever going to be effective. Pikmin's not a system seller.
Yeah.
It's a cool game, and there's very few things out. Like, God, Overlord's a shitty Pikmin game.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's an okay game. That Darwin game, Adventures of Captain Darwin or whatever. There's no good Pikmin clones.
Mm-hmm.
You're only gonna get your Pikmin experience with Pikmin. So, too late. I mean, I think people
Yeah.
who want to play this game, it's probably gonna sell a handful of consoles for people that were waiting for this.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's a question of too late in
I
a
don't
bigger
know if
sense.
those people would have bought Batman Armored Edition, if they had already bought it for Pikmin.
Oh man, it is so late. That game is so late. Is it?
It does feel like a long
Does
time.
it feel very refined though? Is it just like this is wow? There's no.
Well, I still want to see it on TV.
glitchy
It looks
things.
good.
Yeah.
The only thing that kind of bothered me just from like a artistic level is I can't remember in the old games if this happened too, but when you want to throw a Pikmin, even if they're kind of like far away from you, they'll like warp to your hand, which is a little
Yeah,
jarring.
I think
Yeah,
they do
that's
a bit.
yeah.
Just,
Okay.
just so you can rapid fire it.
Yeah, it comes
Yeah,
from
no, but I
Slack
mean,
there.
if you're running, I don't know, even if there's none near you, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
But the game's, it's even on the little pad, it's really pretty. But I want to see it on a nice TV because our TVs here are a little tad shit.
Well, man, I hope you get your living room back soon.
Yeah, it should be. Actually, yeah, no. And with that, let's summon our special guest for a couple minutes.
Everybody, after a short break, we're back, and we are joined by Kevin, the intern. Here he is.
Hey.
Hey, everybody.
Kevin.
That's our radio voices. Kevin, how you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Is this your first time on a podcast?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you mean you think so?
He could have been an involuntary participant and he was drugged. Someone put him on the con.
You never
He didn't
know.
know what he was doing. Said all kinds of offensive stuff.
You never know.
Where are you
never
from, Kevin?
What?
Where are you from?
From Florida.
Cool. And what is your favorite memory from college so far?
Memory from college.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know.
Next question.
I'm trying to excitedly introduce you to the audience.
Yeah. No, he's this audience can take our word for it. He's a cool guy.
he's
He's
so
helped
good.
us. He's
Yeah,
played
sure.
he's played many games. Every time there's one to take from the team, he typically takes it.
Give us an example of a game to take for the team.
Yeah, like you've had to jump into some things, right? Maybe
Um,
games you wouldn't
Some Super
pick up
Star
people's
Wars.
save files. Oh, Super Star Wars. That's a bad one.
It wasn't technically a bad one. It was just
Kevin,
I had to
remember, you gotta talk.
re-record.
You
I had
gotta
to
talk.
re-record it.
Kevin, you gotta talk straight into the mic with it, like the radio.
Right into the mic there. Just
Right now,
get a little
just
closer.
Talk right into the mic.
There you go.
Real close.
Were you
It's a good
picking him
radio
up already, or
posture.
do we have to get real? Yeah, okay, never mind. Sorry.
Good.
Super Star Wars is just insanely hard, right? Like that's the
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
just
part
I
of
had
it.
to record it over
Yeah.
because the capture the first time was awful.
Who did it?
I did it.
Oh, okay. And then someone came back and said, "Kevin, this is awful. Redo
Yeah.
this."
Yeah. Pretty much. The audio was messed up a lot, and he said the aspect ratio was changing throughout the thing.
What did
don't
that
know.
feel
I
like?
don't think you're so much to blame for that.
The
Capture
aspect ratio?
capture
Yeah,
can be
that
a little
stuff is
finicky.
It is
Yeah.
honestly really
Stuff can go
confusing to me,
wrong.
too.
Stuff can go wrong.
So Rise of the Triad came out this week, yeah?
Yeah.
And you've been playing a lot of that.
Yeah.
Do you like Rise of the Triad?
It's fun if you're expecting something. You're expecting what it is. It's mindless violence. You're expecting something like Painkiller, but it's slightly worse.
Wait, what was Painkiller? What was that?
They should put that on the box.
Painkiller was about just shooting hordes of enemies in different rooms with crazy weapons.
And that's what Rise of the Triad is.
Yeah, but they have like 6 rocket launchers, and they're not really creative weapons. It's just
What differentiates the 6 rocket launchers?
the way they shoot, pretty much. It's a lot of explosions, pretty much.
All right. Wait, so do you like it, though? You said, like, if you expect this, but, like,
Yeah.
what does Kevin think about this game?
I think
Go ahead and give it a score. We'll let you.
Yeah,
we'll let you score this.
that's what we're about. Sorry.
Yeah, 6.2 out of 10, probably.
Oh, wow, okay.
Sounds like a real GT score. I would buy that. I think we actually have a freelancer on it. We won't tell him. We'll see how the scores compare.
Separately. So that seems like not a great score to me. You won't play that game outside of work.
Probably not, no.
What do you like? What's your game that you like? What's your favorite game that you've had to play for work here and during your internship? Did you hate them all? Why does this take so
Payday?
long?
You played a ton in Payday.
That wasn't really
It was
necessary.
my impression.
though.
That you loved, oh, it wasn't necessary. No, we will use that.
Oh, well, no,
We will
I
use
did.
that,
I did
you
play
know.
that
It's for our
at
benefit.
meetings. I played that one meeting, the hotel with Patrick, and then at E3, yeah, I did play Payday
And did you-
for work.
And Payday's all right. Payday 2, yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that's his thing, even.
yeah.
That's your thing. You like Payday?
Well, yeah. Testing out the beta was fun. I'm into first-person shooters quite a bit.
But you hate Rise of the Triad.
It's just not very well put together.
There it is. Just let that out.
What can I say?
Yeah.
You know,
So do you have friends who play Payday? Like, to me, I wouldn't want to play Payday without friends who I can be like, oh, dude, you go there and I'll go here. I'm not like, I'm undoing
Yeah,
this while
it's
you...
totally that kind of game. You got
Yeah,
to
that's
coordinate
true.
your heist. Yeah.
yeah, co-op is a big aspect. I love co-op games. I also played the first one and had friends that played it, and it's much more fun with friends.
Second question. Did you come to work today knowing you were going to be on Invisible Walls and then decided I should wear my Witcher 3 shirt?
No idea.
Oh, okay. So you just love Witcher 3?
Yeah, I love this shirt. They gave out extra larges because that's all they had left, but I still love wearing
That's
it.
the official gamer size.
That's a gamer
Gamer
size.
size shirt.
Extra large fits all when it
Yeah.
comes to gamers. Yeah.
Got it at E3. Saw the presentation that they had. It was really great.
Will you play that on a super powered PC or some sort of next generation video game console?
Definitely a PC.
Nice. Wait, the PC you have now, or are you going to upgrade for Witcher 3?
I can't play The Witcher 2 on the PC I have now, so definitely need an upgrade.
How's that
We
gonna
pay
happen?
interns now, so that should help.
Yeah,
Right?
that
Yeah.
was my plan, actually.
We didn't for the longest time.
Yeah.
They're slave labor, effectively, but now
Actually, that's
I get a few
a
bucks.
near perfect transition for an announcement that Ryan's going to come back and make. Oh, here he is. He's strolling
I'll
up.
just do this like this. Can I borrow this?
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to be an intern here and make
That.
up to $10 an hour?
Can we
for
really be
32 hours a
specific
week?
about that?
Yeah. If you're-
$10 an hour is a
if
lot.
you're a-
actually.
up at 10 and go.
if you're a junior or senior in college and you can live in Santa Monica for late September until mid-December, we are looking for 2 interns. Email us at gametrailersinterns@gmail.com and realize that you will have to show proof that you are enrolled and you're a junior and a senior. And that's pretty much it. And you get to play games like Rise of the Triad and go to Payday 2 stuff locally.
Yeah.
You'll come on the
Um,
podcast. We'll ask you real hard questions.
Yeah, and stuff like that.
I think we should give him a couple more minutes. Any other experiences here? Things that have changed your life forever? People you've met that have really inspired you? I'm kind of kidding. Marcus Beer is, your idol. You want to emulate him in every possible way possible.
Oh, meeting him was an experience.
A good one?
He's annoyed, isn't he? He's kind of an annoyed guy. He gets irritated.
I still don't know if it was good or bad. It was an experience.
Yeah, that's I guess what that is. Yeah. What were you looking forward to most coming into this internship, and did that disappoint you?
Going into it, it was mostly Well, playing video games is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Because that's fun. That's why I'm here, pretty much. But also, the gaming industry in general, just knowing more about it is just interesting.
What's your major? What are you going to school for?
Computer science.
Okay.
So, eventually I want to create my own games. But as far as journalism, I like writing, but I'm not great at it.
Okay, I get one more question.
I noticed you didn't use the air quotes for journalism.
Yeah, that's very kind of you. Thank you.
I use the air quotes for that.
Video
Okay,
games,
okay.
journalism. What is your game? What is your ideal game that you want to make? I'm curious what Kevin is passionate to create.
Like Rise of the Triad, but better?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry for that.
Well, before I heard about Cyberpunk 2077, I was interested in, an RPG that was in a cyberpunk setting.
And then they stole your idea.
Sort of.
Because it was like a tabletop game before that, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so in the future, in 10 years, you will see a cool cyberpunk RPG created by Kevin, hopefully.
Sure.
That is our show, I think. That's Invisible Walls for
guess
this
that's
week. I got to sign off into that camera. Thank you for watching and listening. Marcus Beer will be back next week with all his excellent things to say. And thank you for sticking around.
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.